thought there would be snow. I'm a little disappointed.
There was.
Actually, I'm not disappointed, but today I am filming more day in the life of stuff. You know, what it's like, what I'm doing, how things have changed since living large. Even though I'm not even on the competitive scale, being in Olympia, it allowed me to commit more time to being in front of the fans and seeing places that I've never seen. But now there's just so many expos and there's so many store events, obviously, that are supporting Cutler Nutrition. And you know, my clothing brand keeps me super, super busy. That's in a lot of places now. You know, some days I wake up and I'm like, man, you know, could I get back on stage? And then, you know, it's, of course, I say, oh, I'm going to train a little harder for a couple days, and then I train for 2 days, and then I fall out. Even though I'm a 4-time Mr. Olympia and 20 years plus experience being a bodybuilder, it's like I find myself sometimes questioning, how did I do that?
How is Living Large? How's the response been since that's been released? You go into all these expo events and...
It's crazy, man. It's crazy. I mean, they're still bringing it up to me. I'm starting your 8-week trainer. I guess you weren't kidding when you said that it was going to be forever. I had some doubts about that, to be honest. I was like, you know, things fade away, and I think they enjoyed the gun scenes. Definitely the clothing part, the tailor. I want stuff tight now. Okay. You know what the crazy part is? I don't think I've ever gone to even pick up the clothing that I had.
I was going to ask you about that.
Yeah, he's been calling me to go pick it up. How long's it been? Yeah, I guess I gotta go pick up my shirts, huh? All right, so we're here at Bodybuilding.com offices. As you see, the front doors, I mean, this is pretty cool where it's 45-pound bars here. Of course, the main office, walk in. Of course, Living Large on here. The famous cannonball shot. And the dirty feet. I always see the feet. I think this was the last time I did a cannonball in my pool. As surprising as it was that I got off the ground that much, my back did hit the bottom of the pool. That was a pretty big splash. All right, so the statement that Bodybuilding.com puts out, we are your personal trainer, your nutritionist, your supplement expert, your lifting partner, your support group. I mean, that's obviously the statement that you put out here. We provide everything you need to burn fat, build muscle, and become your best self. We change lives, Bodybuilding.com. And of course, that's part of that statement here. And everyone that signs that wall makes that commitment, obviously. Of course, I know where my signature is. 4-time Mr. Olympia right here. I made sure I put it in a place where I could be close to the statement that's here. We got the famous OCC chopper bike here. I just started riding again, actually. I don't think anyone gets to sit on the bike, do they? No one walks in to go work every day and sits on the bike. All right, so let's check out the rest of the building and see what else we got here at Bodybuilding.com. This is a whole hallway of people that have been employed at Bodybuilding.com that have done transformations. You know, women, men, you know, not to get on a competitive stage. I mean, it's easy for someone to set those kind of goals, but just to transform, to look better and feel better about themselves, and of course, fulfill a commitment. A lot of the fans ask me how to get started, and I always tell everyone, you know, you start easy and then you work your way in. And I know a lot of people they jump right in and they fall out. There's so much content nowadays. It's not like it used to be when I started. It was strictly magazine based. There was no internet or anything as such. So, you know, just follow that, and you'll get there. So we have the Bodybuilding.com gym. So, hey guys, how you doing? All right?
How you doing?
Guys good?
Here for the Pilates class?
Yeah, Pilates, yeah.
Yoga's later today.
Yeah. I see you guys are got some weight on here, man.
You might give me a spot.
What's this little contraption you got going here?
The little slingshot.
Is that Mark Bell's thing here?
Yeah.
All right, what are you trying to get out of this thing?
How many?
How many?
I don't know. I'm kind of like nervous because you're the champ. I'm a little fanboy.
Well, you should get motivated. Want me to slap you in the face a little bit or what?
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Up. Good. That's it. Come on, come on, come on. Up. Good, come on. It's good, man. Impressive, yeah.
Dude,
You know what? I'm very approachable. I've always been approachable. I can usually pick a person from very far away that's coming to approach me. You know, I train in Vegas, and of course the gyms are very, they're very packed. But I think a lot of people are respectful. And you know, from the Living Large series, you saw, I mean, there's a lot of fans there. There's a lot of people that actually, you know, respect what I do, and they follow it.
Thank you, Candace. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
What do we got going on over here?
This is so bad. I'm not really eating this.
Jay Cutler walks up to your table and you're eating a Pop-Tart.
Thanks for being here with us.
Of course, you guys. What do you think?
This is the first time I've ever heard of you.
I love it. You know who Jay Cutler, the football player, is?
No, I don't follow
Okay.
sports.
Don't look up.
I saw you post a picture like a month ago when you were like 17 and you're like flexing and you're huge. You're,
Yeah.
like, back
I grew up in concrete work. That's why I started training. I had my family business.
at 17.
I started working at 11 in the business, carrying concrete forms and stuff. So I always had a great physique. I think that's why I got into bodybuilding, because everyone's like, oh, you're really huge, you should lift weights, or do you lift weights? I said, no, but so I started lifting weights, and I never did it much for the ego. It was more because I wanted to look better, and I went to school for criminal justice. I wanted to be a cop, so I wanted to obviously have a little more size for that.
Did you ever feel like giving up before?
Oh, yeah.
Because
Yeah.
Ronnie.
You feel like quitting every show you lose. You know, losing is the worst, especially when you're almost being second is, it's a blessing, but it's also the worst because you're like so close. To be honest, if you said, Jay, do you like competing? I hated it.
Yeah.
I loved when the crowd was, but I hated the preparation, the change. I mean, listen, we build muscle and we eat like crazy to be bodybuilders, and then we have to strip down to get in contest shape. And yeah, you look amazing, the ending product, but the transition to get there is just so much work. I loved training in the gym. That's why I started training. I never had, you know, I didn't do it for Instagram or Facebook. You know, that's what it's turned into now, right?
Is that all right if we get a picture?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
All right, awesome.
Let's get a shot.
Oh yeah.
Thank you. Nice to meet
Yeah,
you.
pleasure, guys. I don't think any of the fans realize how much the impression of them gives me. I've had a lot of luck. I've had a lot of great decisions, had a lot of great relationships. I mean, that's what I try to tell people is that, you know, success is also built, it's being great at something, but you also have to have the relationships, and you have to have the respect from others, and you have to treat people the right way. And if anyone knows me from the day I started being a bodybuilder to now, I've been the same person. Benefits of the job, I guess. Bill, what's up? Come on over and say hello. So we have Bill Geiger here, who obviously I have a relationship with. We actually wrote our first muscle and fitness article together, 1995. I was 22, and he wrote How to Get Wide. What did the cover say?
How to Get Wide. I don't remember.
Yeah.
It was your first cover, I think, wasn't it?
Muscle and Fitness, yeah.
You were a teenager. Yeah.
And, you know, I had the opportunity to meet him, and obviously he's been supportive of my career for, shoot, it's almost 20 years now. And I tell the story about when I walked in the offices at Joe Weider's office, and I walked in a white V-neck t-shirt, and I walked in like these khaki shorts, and Joe looked at me and said, who'd you shoot with? And I'm like, I shot with Herb Gell, Muscle Mag for a little bit, and he's like, because I want to give you a contract. I said, wow, that didn't take much.
Well, it's really interesting because for me, I mean, I worked with a lot of guys that were teenagers who were sort of kind of nobodies. They'd win a local show, and you get to meet them, and then you see their career arc, and they dream about just coming to a Mr. Olympia to watch it, and then they're on stage, and then they win. And it's interesting. I've known a number of guys who I've seen their careers go from obscurity to fandom, and by the time they're at the top, I see Jay at the expos and whatnot, and I can't even get close to him because he's got like hundreds of people crowding him.
You always make
so
your way in.
I always wave or something and say hi, you know, just because I want to keep in touch. But you know, because the friendships go back a long ways as well. So that's really neat.
You knew I was going to be something big, though, right?
Well, we're big physically.
No, I know, but I mean, you knew.
It's hard to tell. You know, it's hard to tell with guys because you don't know some of their potential. You know, certainly you had potential at 19, but you're never quite sure because you had a couple of setbacks along the way as well. But it's fun to see come back 20 years later, and there's Jay still, and you know, we're still friends. So that's cool.
Yeah, he called me like, a few days ago, and he's like, hey, you know, I've been kind of laid up, but I need to do this article, and I said, well, guess what? I'm gonna be there.
Next one, just look up and just hold and stare at the camera just for a little while longer. Go for it. Hold.
That being right there is just stupid. It's ridiculous.
Let me know when you're
Yeah,
ready.
that right there is badass.
Backseat.
I've been a bodybuilder for over 20 years.
Yeah, it's good.
It's okay.
Whenever you're ready, yeah.
Cutler, visit BB.com, VO, take one.
I've been a bodybuilder for over 20 years. I'm a 4-time Mr. Olympia. I can help you build muscle and burn fat. I am Jay Cutler. Fuck you, asshole. Really, the biggest responsibility that I see is still filling the part of being Jay Cutler, the bodybuilder. I'm never going to steer away. I'm not one of these guys that's going to quit training and never pick up weights. I still need to show everyone that I'm still at heart that hardcore guy. You know, I'm working to get in better shape. I think that's a goal for 2015. I still haven't officially retired. I tell people I live 15 minutes at a time. And that's true. I live 15 minutes at a time. I don't make scheduled plans with anyone. That's maybe a good or a bad thing to certain people, but it works very well for me. And that's how my training always was. It was very instinctive. I don't know what I ever do when I walk in some of these gyms. And you know what? When I used to train, I used to go through the workouts overnight. And when I walked in the gym, I could close my eyes and go to the bench press, and then I could go to the dumbbell area. I already went through the workout over and over. You gotta understand, I wake up in a different place. I have no idea where I am at this point in my life, half the time. I'm in a foreign country this week. I'm on a 9-hour time differential. I'm on a 3-hour time differential. I'm sleeping in this hotel, that hotel. I'm on this airplane. I gotta sleep 6 hours because I'm gonna have to get off this plane and work like crazy. So for me, I can't go through those workouts. I don't know what the gym's gonna have. Sometimes I find myself in the gym with 25-pound dumbbells and a lat pull-down machine. I mean, there's nothing better than living it and showing people that you can actually do that. What other better example can you portray? Someone that's in the working class, doing everything that they do, owning a business, running many different companies, and being able to still stay in shape and eat and train. And I'm not trying to be 300 pounds, but still going to be 260. Oh no.
That's right.
You've been warming up, huh?
Let's do it.
I haven't played in about 20 years. I used to have one at my house, but I can't catch this thing. So I realized that if I want to get back in the best shape, I have to set goals. Obviously not Olympia goals or stage goals, but I need to have goals that are going to put me in that spot where I need to be transformed. And I think that's what everyone needs to do. You have to set a certain date, give yourself a certain, restriction of whatever you're going to do, and follow true to it.
Ooh. It's
Close.
The one thing I always said, I wanted to be something great. I wasn't sure what it was, but I knew I would be something great at whatever I did. Every person's great at something they do, just on a different scale. Oh, shit.
Breaking the table. This is breaking the table, man.
I'm not used to working with little balls. I think at this point, you know, I've done everything I could do in bodybuilding, and, you know, working behind the cameras. You know, I'm not trying to claim to be an actor, but I would love to do something in film work. I want to get behind the cameras more and show more of a personality rather than just a physique. I've said it for a long time, I wanted to do film work. To what extent, I need better advisement on that. I'm not going to pretend that I'm an expert at that. I have to dedicate this time now to at least pursue that direction. That's my ultimate goal. It's all about capturing the moments of your life, right? I have nothing to lose at this point.